I think we start with the statement of our values. I think you ought to have opportunity to build a secure future regardless of what zip code you live in. And our federal government's job is to help make investments in opportunity. So let's go back to kind of the basic building blocks. We talked just a minute ago about student loans. I cancel student loans debt for 43 million Americans. That's a lot of young people who don't have to move to LA to start a business. Don't have to go to Silicon Valley, right? So those are young people who are now in motion. Let me give you a couple of more pieces. For that 2-cent wealth tax, we can also invest in childcare for every one of our babies, age 0 to 5. Universal pre-K for every 3-year-old and 4-year-old. We can put $800 billion new dollars into K-12. Think about what that means in small communities. This is money that doesn't go to the state and then the state figures out how to use the money to plug other holes in their budget. This is money that comes straight down to the community level. So if you got the babies, then you're welcome to build out the child care center. You can do it at your community center. You can do it at your church. You can do it at your public school. You can do it, someone can do it from their home, as long as they meet, kind of the basic, you got fire standards and so on. Mm-hmm. That brings money into those local communities, and it brings young families. Young families say, wait a minute, it'd be cheaper to live here than way over there. Maybe we can give this a try. So that's another way you can make it work. Let me give you a couple more. My healthcare plan, a big part of it is we've got to keep our community hospitals open. We've got to keep hospitals open in rural areas. We don't, then whole communities die. Families won't move in if you're going to be more than an hour away from where you can get a baby delivered, or where you can take a kid who gashes his forehead when he falls on the playground. We've got to keep those community hospitals open. And let me give you one more. We've got to have broadband all across this country. There are an increasing number of people who can work from home, but usually the key part to that is they got to have high-speed internet access. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like electricity was 100 years ago, right? You got to have it to participate in a 21st century economy. Right now, because of the way the lines have been laid down by for-profit companies, they've done it in the cities, but they haven't done it in more sparsely populated areas. We need to make that investment. And then look how different the calculation is for a young family. Don't have to pay my student loan debt. If I go to a small town, there's going to be medical care available to me. There's going to be child care available. The schools, somebody's investing in those schools so we can have good quality schools. We don't just have to rely on local taxes to make that happen. All of a sudden it's starting to look like a place that a young family could move to. And then one more plan I have, and that's around housing. We got a real problem in this country with housing, and that is the private developers who built the house I grew up in, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, garage converted to hold my 3 brothers. They're not building that house anymore. So housing for middle-class families, for working families, for the working poor, for the poor, for seniors who want to age in place, for people with disabilities who want to live independently, they're not building any of that housing, and the federal government has cut back its investment in housing. So I got a plan to build about 3 million new housing units across this country. Some of it goes to cities, but some of it goes to little towns, because the housing crisis is being felt all across this country. People are paying more to get less. We got some new housing into some of these rural communities. Man, they look like places to start your small business. They look like opportunity, and that's how we want it to look across this country. Opportunity for young people.